My boyfriend dumped me after winning $5 million. A month later I drove up in a Maserati and told him, "You're too low for me." Won my boyfriend $1 million in the lottery and immediately broke up with me. Our social classes are different. You're too low for me. Then he turned around and hooked up with that girl at work. I laughed. He forgot that lottery ticket was from the previous draw. I rolled down the window of my Maserati and said to them, "You two are way too low for me. Let's break up." Harper Westbrook. I just won $1 million in the lottery. Chase Collins stood in front of me, his expression smug as he spoke those words. "All because of that?" I asked, looking up at him. "Of course. You've probably never even seen that much money, have you? My mom says there are different classes of people. Now that we've made it to the top, you and I aren't on the same level anymore." I couldn't help but laugh. Million, and they think they're part of high society. I didn't even have time to tell him that my dad owns several buildings that rake in more than $1 million in rent every year, not to mention his companies. But it's fine. Honestly, I was glad to get rid of someone like him. Better to cut ties early. No tears over love, only sleepless nights thinking about money. Chase glanced at me. "By the way, even though you paid for the lottery ticket, I'm the one who bought it. So don't expect a penny from me." He'd always had this habit of buying lottery tickets, dreaming of getting rich overnight. But when it came time to pay, he'd always have an excuse: his phone was dead, or his payment wasn't working. Right, because the bank really cares about a few bucks, right? 46. My mom doesn't like you either, Chase added. "She thinks you're too tacky. Remember last time you met her? All you gave her were some cheap, no-name gifts. You embarrassed us." I shot back, "God must have spilled wisdom all over the world, but your family held up an umbrella." I still remember the first time I met his mom. I gave her a pure wool scarf designed by an Italian luxury designer, worth 5 figures, and a bottle of French court perfume. Now it's apparently a cheap, no-name gift to them. Like a catfish splashing water, suddenly thinking it's seafood. He continued, "I won't argue with you because I'm an elite. But since we're breaking up, let's settle things. Why don't you sell back the gifts gave you?" Typical Chase. Even winning the lottery doesn't change his stinginess. "No need. I still have all the stuff you gave me. I'll return every bit of it. Your skincare set. I was too scared to use it in case it ruined my skin. That shirt and tie set. I didn't want to wear it in case I broke out in hives. And that box of bread. I was worried it'd make me sick, and even the medical bills wouldn't cover it." The crowd around us burst into laughter. Chase's face turned red as he snapped back, "Don't just bring that up. What about all the money I gave you? Didn't I send you cash on holidays?" "Sure did." I nodded, pulling out my phone to check the records. "Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Christmas. You're so thoughtful. So generous." I laughed. "Even my cousin in elementary school gives me more than that. I used to think he was so sweet and attentive that I didn't care about the little things. But now, looking back, I must have had water on the brain. Enough to fill the entire Lake Michigan." Chase puffed out his chest. "That was the past. Things are different now. I've $1 million. I can buy whatever I want, and you no longer deserve to be with me." I nodded. "All right then. In that case, why don't you return the gifts I gave you?" Chase laughed. "The stuff you gave me, it's all knockoffs, isn't it? How much could it be worth?" Chase grew up poor. His dad passed away early, and he and his mom depended on each other. To protect his fragile ego, I always cut the tags off the gifts I gave him, and they didn't have any flashy logos. "That belt you're wearing. Gucci, limited edition. Those shoes. C brand. That jacket. Also C brand." I listed them off one by one. Chase's face fell. "You think I'm an idiot? You couldn't afford the real thing. You must have just bought some knockoffs to fool me." Right, because he couldn't tell real from fake. I pulled out my phone. "Here's the purchase history and receipts. If you don't believe me, go check with the store. And the scarf and perfume I gave your mom. They weren't any cheaper than the stuff I gave you. But I'll let that go. Just give Meffer everything else I've gifted you." In reality, I'd spent over on him over the years. But if he gave May's mom, would probably make my life a nightmare. Chase gritted his teeth. "Who knows if what you gave me was real or fake? Let's call it I'll give you know, and the rest once I cash in the lottery. Fine by me. Even though it's a drop in the bucket compared to my bank balance, who says no to more money?" 2. After receiving my account, I stood up and said to Chase, "Thanks, Chase. That's the first time you've been so generous." He looked pained but still spat back, "Good. Don't ever come looking for me again, loser. And don't ever try to contact me. I'm afraid your bad luck will mess up my fortune." I nodded vigorously, making sure he saw me agree. After Chase left, I told my driver to bring my Bentley around from the garage. "I'm done pretending. That night, Chase posted on Instagram. There were 2 photos, one of the lottery ticket and another of him taking a selfie at the Maserati dealership. The caption read, "Just focus on 2 things, working hard and loving yourself. Luck will follow you if you smile enough." I almost gagged on my dinner. As I was about to delete him, something about that lottery ticket caught my eye. The numbers weren't fully shown, but the draw number was clear, but the winning numbers for draw didn't match those. 11. I quickly looked up the results online and realized Chase had mistaken the previous draw's numbers as the winning ones for his ticket. He probably watched a replay or looked at the wrong draw number, thinking he'd won million. This was about to get interesting. I couldn't wait to see his face when he learned the truth. 3. Midway through work, I was sneaking a break when I overheard Savannah Moore, the office gold digger, bragging to a coworker. "My boyfriend just moved into Ridgewood Heights." I froze. What a coincidence. My dad had bought me a place there too, though I rarely stayed. Since Chase worked nearby, I'd given him a key to use the place when he worked late. I told him it was rented. He moved in without a second thought, never considering the rent probably cost more than his monthly salary. I was just thinking about taking back the keys when Savannah said, "He calls me his lucky girl. Ever since we got together, he won million." Everyone around her gasped with envy. "Wait, Ridgewood Heights, million. Could it really be?" I hesitantly asked, "Does your boyfriend happen to be named Chase?" Savannah shot me a wary look. "You know him. Don't even think about trying to steal him just because he's rich. He's way out of your league." Of course, it was him. Chase had been seeing Savannah while we were still together. Did he really think Savannah was upper-class material? If my dad knew about this, he'd die laughing. Savannah always flaunted fake designer bags, rotating them every day of the week. In Chase's eyes, someone who couldn't even tell real from fake, Savannah must have looked like a wealthy princess. Talk about a match made in heaven. 2 gold diggers perfect for each other. Talk about a match made in heaven. 2 gold diggers perfect for each other. Best wishes. Please stay together forever. That night, Savannah posted on Instagram a photo of her and Chase with the caption, "No more waiting. The one I've been waiting for is here." 5 minutes later, Chase posted their picture too, with the cringy caption, "Us." The manager of my favorite luxury store texted me, saying they'd just gotten new stock and invited me to check it out. Since I had nothing better to do, I decided to swing by. As soon as I walked in, there they were, Chase and Savannah. There was only one sales associate in the store. She glanced at me and completely ignored me, continuing to smile and serve them. Savannah was wearing a logo-plastered outfit, even though it was so last season. Meanwhile, I was in a simple t-shirt and carrying a canvas bag. No wonder the saleswoman thought I wasn't worth her time. Savannah noticed me too. "What kind of people are they letting in this store?" Chase added, "Harper Westbrook, what are you doing here? You can't afford anything in this store." I smiled. "Oh, did your family open this store?" I didn't know I needed permission to look around. The saleswoman clearly picked up on the tension and sided with them. "I'm sorry, miss, but the lowest priced item in our store is if you can't afford it, you really shouldn't waste your time." I couldn't help but laugh inside. She had no idea who she was backing. After showing Savannah several bags, I overheard her say to Chase, "Baby, I want this one, and the second one in that row too." The sales associate beamed. "Oh, you have such good taste, miss. These are our best sellers. You've got a great eye." Savannah, pleased, slung the bag over her shoulder and admired herself in the mirror. Then she noticed me. "Harper Westbrook, aren't you embarrassed carrying around that cheap canvas bag? Aren't you supposed to have a job?" I was carrying a canvas bag because I planned to go grocery shopping later. "Gotta think green, you know. Save the planet." I shot back, "What's wrong with a canvas bag? Does your family live by the sea or something? Why are you so concerned?" Savannah, frustrated, rushed back to Chase. "This one, that one, and the other one, I want them all." Chase, trying to sound generous, said, "Buy them all." The saleswoman's eyes sparkled with glee. I picked up a black handbag, wanting a closer look when the saleswoman stormed over. "I'm sorry, miss, but this is our latest model. It costs and is only available to our VVIP clients. Please don't touch it, you might get it dirty." Savannah laughed. "Harper, don't get your filthy hands on that bag. You couldn't afford it even if you sold yourself." I was about to fire back when a sharp voice came from the entrance. 5. Who said Harper can't afford it? The saleswoman panicked. Manager, you're back." Amanda, the store manager, walked in and immediately apologized to me. "I'm so sorry, Harper. I went to grab your coffee." This new employee didn't know any better. She turned to the saleswoman and added, "Harper is one of our VVIP clients. She gets first pick of all new stock." Only after she passes on something can we offer it to other customers. The saleswoman's face went pale and she hurriedly apologized. Chase's face turned red. You must be mistaken. Harper is just a regular office worker. How could she be one of your VIPs? Don't let her fool you. The threshold for being a VVIP at this store is spending over $1 million annually. The manager glared at Chase and Savannah. I'm sorry, but I'll have to ask you two to leave. We're closing the store for Harper. Savannah huffed. I wouldn't shop here anyway. My boyfriend has plenty of money. He can buy me anything I want from any store. You're all fools for falling for some poor girl's tricks. She grabbed Chase and stormed out. I turned to Amanda and said, I'll take the entire row of bags. Wrap them up for meth next day at work. Savannah strutted around the office, showing off a new handbag. She made sure everyone noticed, circling the room several times. It wasn't cheap, probably around. I guess Chase wasn't completely stingy. I just wasn't worth his effort. Oh, this is the bag my boyfriend insisted on buying me, Savannah said. I didn't even want it, but he just had to get it for me. Coworker A, your boyfriend treats you so well. When will I get a sweet romance like that? Coworker B, well, Savannah is gorgeous and she comes from a good family. Of course, her boyfriend would be amazing. It's all relative. Bingo. A broke guy and a gold digger, a perfect match. Savannah walked over to me and said, you can tell how much a man loves a woman by how much he's willing to spend on her. Chase told me he never spent much on you when you two were together. How sad. She wasn't wrong. He used to buy me lipsticks, and I'd pretend to be thrilled. Then I'd gift him designer clothes or shoes in return, always downplaying how expensive they were to protect his ego. I replied, I was too young to know better. At least I've gotten rid of the trash now. Speaking of trash, what brand of garbage bag are you? You seem to carry a lot. Savannah's face darkened. You're just bitter because you couldn't keep Chase. He said you two aren't even in the same league. Turns out, he was right. 7 of that weekend, I called. Just the thought of him using my stuff made my skin crawl. Cleaning service to go to Ridgewood Heights and throw out everything Chase had touched. When I got to the building, I tried to use the facial recognition system to unlock the door, but it kept saying face not recognized. Strange. Did I lose weight recently or something? Maybe that's why the system didn't recognize me. I was still mulling it over when I heard noise coming from inside the apartment. Real S. When I opened the door, there stood Savannah Moore. She was wearing my Prada luxury sleepwear, rubbing her sleepy eyes as she came to the door. Who is it? Why so loud? When she realized it was me, her face changed instantly. Oh, it's you, Harper Westbrook. What are you doing here? I'm moving out, I said. I wasn't lying. I came to throw out all the stuff that scumbag Chase had touched, but I didn't expect him to bring a woman back here. Wow, this was blowing my mind. Savannah scoffed, moving out. You're moving in here, aren't you? Trying to win him back, huh? How desperate can you be? Chase doesn't want you anymore. I almost laughed. This girl had no idea this house was mine, did she? Annoyed, I said, this house is mine. That sleepwear you're wearing, also mine. Now get out. Savannah didn't believe me for a second. You're full of it. Chase gave me this sleepwear and this house is his too. Right then, Chase came strolling out of the bedroom, also wearing sleepwear I bought for him. They were even matching. Babe, Harper's saying this house is hers. Kick her out. Savannah urged. Chase hesitated for a moment, then turned to Savannah. Well, technically, the house is in Harper's name, but it might as well be mine. After all, I'm about to have million. Soon, I can buy any house I want. This guy's skin was thicker than anything I'd ever seen. Savannah, totally oblivious, nodded enthusiastically. You're right, babe. Let's buy a house here. Actually, buy 2. And get 1 for my brother too, he's about to graduate. Chase's expression faltered just a bit. Seriously? These two really belong together, both utterly delusional. They clearly didn't realize that the cheapest unit in this building cost more than million. I replied, well, why don't you go ahead and buy it right now? Every second you delay is an insult to yourself. Now, please leave. But Chase wasn't ready to move out. He wasn't dumb. This location was prime, way better than his crappy old place. Harper, let's make a deal. Why don't you talk to the landlord? Tell him I just won the lottery, and having me live here will bring his property good luck. I raised an eyebrow. And then, Chase smiled. Then have him transfer the deed to me. That way he can share in my luck. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Dude, are you serious? Do you even know how much this place costs? And you think the landlord would give it to you? Chase, still grinning like an idiot, said, how do you know unless you ask the landlord? I pushed both of them toward the door. I am the landlord. Now get out. Chase's face was a mix of disbelief. This isn't your rental place. I pulled out the deed. Go get your eyes checked. It's under my name. Savannah, with a look like she figured it all out, sneered, I get it. You must have hooked up with the landlord to get this place. Chase chimed in, I told you, there's no way you could have afforded this house. Thank God we broke up, or who knows how many guys you'd cheat on me with. I didn't bother arguing with them anymore. I had the cleaning crew throw out all their stuff, including the custom Ralph Lauren bed. Ugh, just thinking about those two using my things made me feel sick. I even felt bad for the bed. That night, I got a message from Chase's secret account. Harper, even though you've become someone's side piece, I don't mind. Just add my name to the house. I replied, what kind of skincare are you using? Your skin must be thick as hell. Since I left you, my life's been blessedly idiot-free. I hit send and immediately blocked his number. Finally, peace. 8. I was about to nod off at my desk when Savannah showed up with a basket of goodies and a stack of invitations. My boyfriend and I are getting engaged this Sunday. You're all invited. As she handed out the invites, she gave each person a Dior lipstick. Oh wow, Savannah, you're so lucky. You're really getting engaged. And a lipstick. That's so generous. Your boyfriend St treat you so well. Savannah beamed with happiness. Yeah, he's always collecting his lottery winnings. So sweet to me, he even said we're live on TikTok this Sunday to stream him live stream the lottery collection. My ears perked up. Going to collect that non-winning ticket. This was going to be good. Then she came over to me, handing me an invitation and a lipstick. Harper, if you want to witness what true happiness looks like, you should come. You may not be the star, but you can still dream about it. I pretended to be impressed. Wow, I've never been to a rich person's engagement party. I'll be there for sure. Savannah smirked. Good. Don't act like you've never seen anything like it. Soon after, a message popped up in our group chat. Chase Collins, meeting people is fate. Having it all is luck. I feel so blessed. Ever since I met my baby Savannah, lottery. I hope all my friends and family will come to the Grand Palm Hotel this Sunday to witness our happiness. We'll be live streaming Million in the Tea. Come if you're just here to mooch off our good luck. Note can be as fortunate as lottery collection. Don't CP.S. You have to let go of the wrong person to meet the right one. So my ex, stop contacting me. I only love Savannah now. I nearly choked. Chase was so good at pretending to be deep and romantic. Jay-Z could write 3 albums from this guy's stories alone. Thank God I'd snapped out of it. I must have been temporarily blind to have fallen for him. But honestly, I was starting to get excited. I was really looking forward to Sunday. 9. Sunday arrived quickly. Chase started his live stream early, and tons of classmates and friends piled into the chat. His mom wore a dark red Versace dress, with makeup layered on thick, though no amount of makeup could hide her bitter expression. She never shut up the entire time, too proud of her soon-to-be millionaire son. Chase was dressed in a brand new suit, while Savannah wore a silky white wedding gown with a veil. His buddies were there, pretending to be bodyguards, and the group piled into a rented Porsche. Chase smiled into the camera. Hey, everyone, your boy's about to go claim his prize. This is my girl Savannah, and as soon as I get my money, we'll be having our engagement party. Savannah was all smiles, leaning against his shoulder. I jumped into the chat under a burner account Doggy Boy and commented, living the dream, man. We're all so impressed. Chase, reading the comment, replied, you're right, Doggy Boy, not everyone's as lucky as I am. His mom chimed in, Savannah's a million times better than his last girlfriend. She's our good luck charm. I added, you should get her a ring or a necklace for the proposal. You're rolling in it now. I didn't suggest that out of the goodness of my heart. I wanted to see Chase go from multi-millionaire to multi-million in debt. Chase agreed, called up the biggest jeweler in town, and ordered the latest necklaces, bracelets, and rings with Savannah's initials, SML, engraved on them. I typed, Chase's love for Savannah is enough to move mountains. I even threw a few virtual gifts into the live stream to hype things up. Chase beamed, hey, Doggy Boy, you should come to the party after. Soon, the live stream had viewers, all curious to see him claim his prize. They finally arrived at the lottery office in Upper Manhattan. Chase pulled out the ticket and handed it to the clerk. The clerk studied the ticket for a moment before saying, sorry, but this ticket isn't a winner. Chase lost it. What are you talking about, you old fool? I won million. The clerk frowned and double-checked. This ticket matches the numbers from the last draw. If you'd bought it for that draw, you'd have won. But for this draw, it's worth. The chat exploded with comments, LOL, this is the biggest fail of the year. Did this guy really think he won million? Dude, I wouldn't even dream this bad. Chase's mom, realizing something was wrong, stormed up and slapped the clerk. You're lying. My son won $1 million. Are you trying to steal his money? The clerk, annoyed, shot back, ma'am, take a good look at the numbers. Your son bought a losing ticket. Chase rushed up too, yelling, you have to give me the money. I'm a winner. I bought the winning ticket. My ex-girlfriend was even there. The chat continued roasting, yo, he's name-dropping his ex. Talk about smooth. This guy is something else. The stream's viewership hit with everyone watching this disaster unfold. My phone rang. It was Chase. I answered calmly, what's up, lucky man? He shouted, you were there when I bought the ticket, right? I won $1 million, didn't I? I replied, yeah, I was there. But you bought a ticket for this draw, and the numbers you picked won in the draw. I wanted to tell you, but you told me not to contact you. Oh, by the way, you still owe me for the ticket. The chat went wild. Wait, he didn't even pay for the ticket. Man, if that were me, I'd want to disappear right now. Screwing up the draw is funny, but not paying your ex is next level. Suddenly, Chase seemed to realize the truth. He yelled, you knew the whole time, didn't you? You just wanted to see me humiliated. He threw his phone against the wall, smashing the ticket machine in the process. Though he ended his stream, others had already started streaming the chaos. In minutes, the video went viral, with over 1 million views. Savannah, looking pale, realized her dream of becoming a rich wife was crumbling. She ripped off her veil and slapped Chase. You lying scumbag. I only stuck with you because I thought you were rich. Look at you, you're pathetic. Chase's mom immediately jumped in to defend him. You're the real liar. My son spent so much money on you. Everything you're wearing right now is what he bought for you. And just like that, Savannah and Chase's mom started a full-on brawl. Chase, of course, sided with his mom. Savannah screamed, how could you take your mom's side? You're a total mama's boy. I can't believe I was stupid enough to believe you $1 million. Her clothes were ripped and she looked a mess. It was complete chaos. The lottery clerk demanded Chase pay for the broken ticket machine, the jeweler showed up asking for the custom jewelry that couldn't be returned, and the Grand Palm Hotel asked him to settle the remaining balance for the engagement party. Chase, he didn't have a penny left. Convinced he'd $1 million, he'd already blown through his savings and racked up tons of credit card debt. Cue my grand entrance. I pulled up to the scene in the latest Maserati. Everyone stepped aside, curious about who owned the only Maserati in town. As I got out of the car, Chase's eyes lit up. Harper, what are you doing here? I smiled. Didn't you invite me for drinks? I'm doggy boy. The crowd erupted into laughter. Chase, unable to get mad, figured I was his only hope now. He stared at my car. Harper, let's call it even. Is this car yours? No kidding. Seeing I wasn't paying attention to him, he continued, could you help me pay off my debts? I know you still love me. How about this, you clear my debts today, give me the Maserati, and add my name to the Ridgewood Heights house, and I'll break up with Savannah. Savannah's face turned red with anger. His mom chimed in, yeah, it's all your fault. If you hadn't bought that ticket for him, none of this would have happened. You need to take responsibility. These two were unbelievable. I shot back, your skin is thicker than cold grease left out overnight. A Maserati's not really your style. How about a Rolls Royce? Chase nodded eagerly, that'll do. Just get me a driver too, it suits my status. I resisted the urge to scream. The crowd was in awe of their audacity. I took a deep breath and pulled out a box of the trash gifts Chase had given me, along with a stack of papers. Here's all the garbage you sent me from eBay. Also, you still owe me what? You're trying to scam my son, his mom yelled, her face twisted with rage. I played the recording from our breakup conversation. Clear as day, Chase said, who knows if the stuff you gave me is real or not. Fine, take off. I'll pay and when I cash in the lottery ticket, I'll give you the rest. Lottery ticket or not still counts. The place exploded with laughter. Chase and his mom looked like they'd been hit by a truck. The TikTok chat was blowing up. This guy's a total joke. How did she deal with him for so long? Queen energy. She's stunning and rich. Who's the lucky guy who gets her? Suddenly, Chase snapped and screamed at the crowd, do you all know where my ex-girlfriend's car and house came from? Oh, this ought to be good. She's a gold-digging homewrecker. I saw her get out of an old man's car with my own eyes. How else would she afford a place in Ridgewood Heights? If she hadn't brainwashed me into buying that ticket, none of this would have happened. If you're looking for money, go after her. I almost believed him for a second. Nice try, flipping the narrative to make himself the victim. The crowd was starting to turn. Nobody tolerates a homewrecker in this day and age. Some women seem so put together, but you never know what dirt they're hiding. I hate homewreckers. If I had a rotten egg, I'd throw it. Kinda feel bad for this guy now. Just as I was about to defend myself, a familiar voice cut through the crowd. Who said Harper's a homewrecker? I looked up and saw my dad, Richard Westbrook, walking toward us with another man following behind. I called out sweetly, "Dad." He nodded at me before turning his attention to Chase. "Were you spreading these lies about my daughter?" My dad's stern gaze fell on Chase and his mother. Chase's mom didn't recognize my dad. She sneered, "Wow, men your age are still paying for side chicks, huh? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Since you're obviously rich, how about paying off Harper's debts for her?" Chase glared at his mom, trying to shut her up. He knew who my dad was. Chase stammered, "Wait, Harper, your dad is Richard Westbrook." I smiled. "Yeah, why? Do we not look alike?" Chase, red-faced with embarrassment, muttered, "You told me your dad was unemployed." I laughed. "Well, technically, he is. He just collects rent from his buildings and lets others manage his companies. But yeah, he's unemployed." My dad stepped in. "If you continue to slander my daughter, I'll sue you for defamation. My daughter has no obligation to help you, and she certainly owes you nothing." The man who had walked in with my dad approached Chase. The moment Chase saw him, he turned pale. "Mr. Ford, what brings you here?" "Mr. Ford? Oh, right. This was Alexander Ford, the business mogul my dad never stopped talking about. He was a rising star in the corporate world, and Chase worked for him." Alex tossed a report at Chase. "I'm here to watch this disaster unfold. Also, here's a report showing how you misused company funds to give out loans. I've already called the police. You're fired, by the way." Chase looked like he was about to lose it. "Mr. Ford, please. I made a mistake. Just give me another chance." His mom, realizing the severity of the situation, dropped to her knees in front of me. "Harper, please, you have to help Chase. Your dad and Mr. Ford are friends, right? Talk to them. If you help him out, I'll make sure you two get back together." I burst out laughing. Did she think Chase was some sort of prize? "No thanks. Your son's too low for me to even bother with." And with that, my dad and I walked away. Not long after we left, Chase's creditors moved in. The police showed up and Chase was arrested. Word had it he got several years in prison. His mom had no choice but to sell their only house to pay off his debts, hoping he'd be released sooner. As for Savannah, her reputation was ruined. She'd been branded a gold digger at work, and eventually the ridicule became too much. She quit and, from what I heard, found a decent guy to settle down with. I thought I was done with Chase and his family forever, but one day, as I was leaving work, I saw deep scratches all over my Maserati. Just as I was about to call security, Chase's mom appeared. "It's all your fault. My son's life is ruined. Either get him out of jail, or I'll make sure you never have peace." I was genuinely amused. What power did she think I had to free her son? First of all, I've been done with Chase for a long time. Whatever happened to him is a reflection of your poor parenting. Second, I have every reason to believe you're responsible for the damage to my car. I'm going to check the security footage. Her face changed immediately. Then, without warning, she threw herself on the ground, wailing in pain, screaming that I had hit her. A few co-workers walked by, giving me odd looks. She continued her performance. "Harper Westbrook is abusing me. Just because she's rich, she thinks she can do whatever she wants." I had to laugh. Did she really think this was going to work? "Lady, you can lie there all you want. I'm not paying you a cent." She stretched out her hand, signaling for 5 fingers. "Give me this much and I'll get up." She meant. I rolled my eyes. "Ma'am, I think you said you were going to call the cops." "Want me to do it for you?" A familiar voice interrupted us. "Need help calling the cops? I can take care of that." I turned to see Alex Ford. Of all people. "While we're at it, we can check the footage to see who scratched Harper's car. Judging by those deep cuts, the repairs should cost around give or take." I chuckled. It was so unusual to hear Alex, usually so serious, joke around like this. Chase's mom jumped up immediately. "I didn't do it. Don't blame me." Alex followed up. "You sure you don't want to go to the hospital for a checkup?" She didn't even answer, running off as fast as she could. Alex and I exchanged a knowing smile. Life was good. I was lounging in my family's garden, enjoying the freedom of being rid of Chase. My dad broke the silence. "Sweetheart, I've set you up on a date." I instantly protested. "No way, Dad. I'm loving the single life." But somehow, a vision of Alex Ford's handsome face flashed in my mind. If it was him, well, my dad sighed. "All right, I'll let Alex know." I sat up immediately. "Wait, you mean Alex Ford?" My dad nodded. I shot to my feet. "Dad, you're the best. I'll go on the date." As they say, you have to let go of the wrong one to meet the right one.